Coming up next is such a teacher, the Deputy Principal of John Orr Engineering School of Specialization, in which they were recently launched by the Gauteng Department of Education as a school of specialization with a specific focus on renewable energy and alternative energy sources. So to lead us into the world of the solar car, here is Deputy Principal, Mr. Michael Mutsharini.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to learners and all educators watching this presentation. Mutsharini. I am here to speak about the car that we have built at the school. As the program director indicated, our school was recently launched on the 18th of August by MEC of Gauteng, Mr. Panyazali Sufi. We were launched as school of specialization, transiting from the school that was known as John Orr Technical High School. At that point, it means that the school was not having any area of specialization, but we were very fortunate to have been selected by the MEC to be part of what we call a reorganization of schools in Gauteng, where we are now joining that group of schools in order to learn, but with a particular area of speciality. And in this case, our school adopted renewable energy as the area in which we need to focus on. So to mark this launch, the school was given a brief to decide on the area of speciality. Speciality meaning that we need to select an area of the economy of the country where we can teach our learners to be specialists in that area. And renewable energy was our preferred area of speciality. So as you can see, our first slide, I don't know if slides are visible now. This car that we had to build, we call it Voltage Panya Panya. I'll come to that explanation of how this name came about. But we embraced this challenge to focus on something such as this. It was difficult because this was totally uncharted territory for us. We are a normal school guided by basic education, learning outcomes. And the question was then, how do we now start specializing on something that how do we go about this? But this was really a very good challenge that we embraced. And we met as a school, as management, and we looked at our school as a technical high school. We deliver what we call a STEM subject, or we specialize in STEM subject, meaning that this is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So that's what we do. Maths and science are very critical and very important for the school. And all learners who come to school are mindful of that. Because there is a perception also that suggests that technical high schools are mainly vocational. So if one is not good in maths or science, then they can come and do handwork. But that is not so with the schools such as ours. Maths and science are very, very important at the school. Now, how do we started with this car? We decided to create a collaboration between a subject of STEMs. So in other words, science, maths, technology, and engineering learners. And we needed learners to work together. Because you see, collaboration is one of the skills that it's very essential for future careers. As Prof. Marwala was saying, our students in their future careers, they will be able to work maybe from South Africa, employed by companies where they will have to work together on one project with learners or other professionals who are all over the world. So collaboration was therefore a part of what we really needed to focus on. So when we started, we decided that we will give this project firstly to engineering and graphics and design students. So EGD, we call it EGD. It used to be known as technical drawing. And we gave learners a brief to say, we need to build a car, we need to build a solar car here. what kind of model can we design? Because you see, aesthetics as well of the car is important. And before you start making any car, it's very important to visualize it, to understand what kind of car is this? How is it going to look like? Well, we decided that we're going to use a solar panel to recharge the batteries of the car. We started there. And the panels that we acquired were just 3 mono watts panels, each 100 watts. And we decided that we'll use 3 because then they can be able to produce 300 watts. That is enough to charge batteries so that the car can move with a solar energy. Now we started with engineering, graphics, and design. And learners did a couple of drawings. Yeah, we started there. You will see that there were different initial ideas of the car that were designed by students before we started building the car. And learners were excited with this project. And we went on from different kind of ideas to select what we think is the best one. And you will see on your far right, the car that we opted to go for was the car that was on the far right-hand side, because that car will be able to allow panels to be placed above the car in order to attract enough sun so that the car can then be able to move, okay, with solar power generated. And there is the 3-dimensional car isometric drawing of the car, and it started there. So it's important that learners need to understand the importance of technical drawing, or what we call engineering, graphics, and design. Because before you design something, if you cannot visualize it and understand it and see it on a paper, it is difficult to work on it. So from this drawing, it was therefore very easy to then start building this particular car. You can see 3 panels on top of the roofs of the car, 1 at the back, 2 at the top, and each one of them generating 100 watts. So this car actually can produce 300 watts energy. Right, where we started, we acquired an old golf cart car that was not working, and we bought this, and we stripped it, and completely. So in other words, learners from automotive, mechanical technology at the school were given the task to strip the car and rebuild it and make it work. So that's where we started, and you can see car in our workshop there. From there, we moved on to another subject to say, okay, well, automotive learners, they fix the car can work. We went now to another subject within mechanical engineering, and this is welding. The car needed to have a structure. So welders were responsible to do the whole frame structure of the car. And that's in this way we were integrating and collaborating our subjects. Electrical learners, we acquired all the components that they needed. You will see that there are batteries there. We've got some controllers there. And learners doing digital and power systems in electricity. They were responsible for this particular task to say, this is the car that needs to function. Your role is to make sure that this car can work. We can be able to control the car. The car should be able to perform basic functions. And there are our panels. Fortunately, we are in partnership with Sasol. We requested for funding for panels. And Sasol sponsored us with the panels. And there we are. You can see learners working on the panels, rearranging them. And yeah, then the car was starting to take shape. We fitted batteries and other internal components of the car. And yeah, the next slide is just the same. Right, we also needed converters in order to reduce power from 300 watts downwards so that we can be able to play radio. Our car, you will see shortly, it has all sorts of things. It's a real car that has all very exciting components in it. And you will see on the next slide, the car was starting to take shape now. We've got the frame structure welded by welding learners. And yeah, so after that, we chose woodworking. We also have woodworking at the school, which is civil technology. we decided to purposefully use wood as the external part of the car for the body. Wood is very special. It's one of the material that can be, it's one of the renewable material that we can use. And we gave woodworking learners specs according to drawings. And be mindful that all these components are being created from totally different workshops from where the car is. So the concept of understanding precision, measuring, which is important aspect of mathematics, they play a very important role in this whole concept. So there are woodworking learners cutting on the body parts of the car and beginning with the assembly. And there we are. Our car was starting to take shapes. It's almost now kind of complete. And yeah, we had to decide on the seats as well. We built seats. Everything was done at school using technical skills that learners are learning at school level. Right. We continued with the car, and the idea of the car was that the car should be able to display or to have a display where all artifacts or all models or all components of things that learners do at the school, we can then put them at the back so that when the car moves, then it's moving, transporting all this technology models that learners in different aspects of our school are doing. And we decided to call the car Voltage because obviously this name was derived from the fact that this is a solar-powered car. And Voltage was the name that we came up with. And there is our car, almost complete now, with some lighting at the back. You can see there's a perspex glass. You can see through if there are some items displayed at the car. And this is basically how our car came about. And there is our car. It's now ready. It was tested. Everything was working. And after that, we covered all the panels so that we can spray paint the car and give it good aesthetics look. And all went well. Wow, there we are. So there is our complete car. But you can see that this started from drawing. From drawing, distribute work in collaboration with different learning areas of STEM at the school, up to where this car is. So the car was completed and it was ready for the launch. So the idea was that when we are relaunched as a school of specialization, this car was going to drive the MEC. We were a bit worried, nervous about it because we didn't know whether the MEC will be transported properly, will the car stuck on the way. But we did a couple of tests and we were ready for it. And yeah, the car was ready. And you can see now at the back, we decided to take all components that were made by different workshops. They are displayed at the car. Then the car was ready for the launch. Just another clearer view of what we had inside. So in there, we have got plumbing equipment and plumbing projects, fitting and turning projects and stuff like that. Okay, right. Then there we are. The car was ready for the launch. And this is basically what happened. So now, how the name Voltage Panya came about, it's very exciting. When the MEC was launching the car, he said, no, this car cannot be called Voltage. It must be called Panya, which is it's just a shorter version of his first name. We know his name is Panyasali Sufi. And after that, we then renamed the car, and the car is now known as Voltage Panya. So in short, we just wanted to present this to you. We are very excited about this project. We believe that this is just the first part of what we need to do as the school. We have a very good plan going forward. We are going to learn with partnerships. We are going to reach out to universities who have walked this way. And together with other partners, we believe that in the near future, we have a dream of building a solar car that can be easily controlled from school and for example, to go buy McDonald's and come back. That is where we want to take this project. Thank you very much for listening to us, and we believe that partners will come on board to support the school to take this further. But before I leave the stage, I just want to encourage learners, especially learners who are in technical high school, to pay so much attention in mathematics and physical science. Those two subjects are critical for you to be ready and to be prepared to face the future and to be relevant to future jobs. Your mathematics and science need to be in place, and those two subjects require hard work. Don't be tempted to shy away from working hard for those two subjects. They are very important. Thank you very much, learners, for listening, and all stakeholders. Thank you.